Jesus never identified Mary as his mother. That's one of the most shocking truths of the New Testament. Never once did he call her mother. Never once did he go to meet her. Never once did he call her Mary. He identified her as woman, and he spoke on it twice and called her woman each time. This is not disrespect, but this is helping Mary to accept the sword that cut between herself and Jesus Christ. She had fulfilled her duty when she gave birth to the body, the image God would use on this earth. But she had nothing to do with the God that lived in the image that created Mary in the first place. Jesus forbids anyone giving special honor to Mary. Can you imagine that? Here's a woman who wanted to honor Mary. Jesus stopped her. In Luke 11:27, the New American Bible, the Catholic edition, a woman in the crowd said to Jesus, "Blessed is the womb that carried you, and the paps or the breast that gave you nourishment, breast that you nursed." Jesus said, "On the contrary." Contrary means back up. If you want to know about blessing, that's not the one that's blessed. Can you imagine that? Here's what Jesus said. The one who is blessed is the one who hears my word and obeys it. To obey the words of Jesus is more blessed than to have given birth to Jesus. Jesus tried to stop pagan mother worship, which he foreknew would one day be taught. But once again, Jesus was clearly pointing to the fact that Mary was not following him and hearing and obeying his word. The woman said, "Blessed is the womb and the breast. On the contrary, blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it." On the contrary. So Jesus forbade anyone giving special honor to Mary because of the birth process that she went through. John 19:25. When Jesus hung on the cross, he looked out and saw John and said, "John, behold your mother." He transferred motherhood to another man. Mary lived in the house of John and he took care of her. Evidently, Joseph had passed away by this time. But when he said that to John, he looked at his mother. He didn't call her Mary. He didn't call her mother. He said again, "Woman, woman, behold your son." So Jesus was preparing the way to teach people that Mary was blessed among women, not among men, among women. She was blessed among women simply because she bore the body, the image God would use on this earth to be a sacrifice for Mary's own sin and our sin. John 5:26, Jesus' life came from his Father, not from his mother. Jesus said so. The life in me came from my Father. Acts 20:28, feed the church of God, which he purchased with his own blood. That was God hanging on the cross. That blood was the blood from God. Blood doesn't come from the Father. Medical science knows that today. The blood of the mother never crosses into the body of her baby. Acts 20:28, Leviticus 17:11, the blood came from his Father. And the words of Jesus all came from his Father. He never said one word that he learned or heard during 30 years of growing up in Nazareth. He never spoke a single word that Joseph taught him or his mother taught him. For he clearly says, John 14:24, John 3:34, 14:10, John 12:49 and 50, the words I speak are not mine. I'm speaking the words my Father has given me. Whatever he commands, so speak I, so say I. He didn't quote Joseph. He didn't quote Mary. He quoted his Father. The most amazing thing about Mary was when a woman in the crowd spoke to Jesus and said, "Blessed is the womb that bare you and the breast that gave you suck." But Jesus denied that blessing. He said, rather, blessed is the woman or anyone who hears my word and obeys it. You can understand that Jesus was not dishonoring his mother. He was placing her where she belonged, with women, and a woman who had been chosen as a little girl, I say a little girl, a teenage girl, to bear the body, the image that God would use as he worked in this earth. Jesus was trying to keep the world from worshiping the woman. The world engages in mother worship, but Jesus stopped that mother worship by what he said here. Mary was indeed blessed. I want you to get this booklet. The sword that pierced the soul of Mary was not the cross. Now, you'll see why 6 different groups in Canada mailed it to the Pope in Rome. The first few months I took it to Canada, touring throughout all the provinces of Canada. I'll mail it to you if you get the email address I'm going to show you here. I'll send it out to you, and then you can send me an offering if you want to pay for publishing, postage, mailing it out to you. But I will not require any money. If you'll send me by email the address you want me to send it to and request the book on Mary, or perhaps the CD. I'll put the healing message Jesus gave me during the 43-day fast on this CD. Order the CD. If you listen to it 3 times and obey that word, listen 3 times and carefully understand what the word says, and do what the word says, then call me for the healing words. I'll pronounce it and you will be healed. Thousands have been healed of cancer, AIDS, all diseases all around the world. From Singapore to Kenya, to Moscow, Russia, to Novgorod, Russia. AIDS wars have been emptied. If you request it, I will send you a list of all the books, and you can order any of them you want, and I'll send them to you. Then you can send an offering if you like, and I'll send it as long as finances permit. Goodbye, and God bless you, everyone.